Hey friend, and welcome back to the Hippie Martha Hormone Hour. My name's Ashley, your host, and today we're talking about something that we might not often think about as hormone helping, but it's absolutely foundational to your hormones, and that is blood sugar balance. Now, I actually just had a holiday party last Saturday, and I was really cognizant of how am I going to support my blood sugar when going to this holiday party? I always like to start, if I know I'm going somewhere, what I used to do was, one, I wouldn't eat anything. I would exercise and I would save my calories for later on. And that is something that you don't want to do. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in this episode, especially during the holidays, including winter, when your relationship with food feels unpredictable right now. Maybe your hormones feel louder during or after the holidays, or your body is sending signals like anxiety, shakiness, exhaustion, or emotional overwhelm. Stay with me here because we are going to kind of unpack it in 20 minutes or less. So, why does blood sugar matter for hormones? Blood sugar is one of the fastest ways your body decides whether it is safe or under threat. Within the menstrual cycle, we actually metabolize glucose differently depending on what phase we are in. During the follicular phase, our muscles tend to utilize glucose more efficiently. That means many people can tolerate more carbohydrates with fewer energy crashes. As we move into our luteal phase, that efficiency shifts. The body becomes slightly more insulin resistant by design, which means blood sugar can feel more sensitive to spikes and dips. This is why we have more cravings, especially for carbohydrates. And this is why what feels energizing during one part of your cycle can feel destabilizing in another, and why eating the same way every single week doesn't always support hormone balance. So let's talk about the blood sugar roller coaster. Now, I want you to imagine two horizontal lines. The space between those lines is a balanced blood sugar. It's steady, it's supported, and it's safe. Now imagine drawing a line that moves like a roller coaster, up above that balance range and then down below it, and then back up again. The peaks of that wave, insulin is released to bring blood sugar back down. At the bottom, the cortisol is being released to bring blood sugar back up. And right there in the constant of the up and the down is stress. That stress doesn't care where it comes from, whether you're being chased by a bear, getting crap sleep, or are not eating in a way that supports your body, your system responds the same way. Chronic stress, especially from unstable blood sugar, pushes insulin to spike more often. Over time, this places a greater burden on the liver in overall cellular metabolism and can contribute to insulin resistance and metabolic dysfunction. This is why blood sugar balance isn't just about food. It's about signaling safety to your entire system. And stressed bodies don't ovulate well. They don't make progesterone efficiently. They don't detox the estrogen smoothly, and they don't regulate mood very well. So if you're dealing with PMS, anxiety, sleep issues, or irregular cycles, blood sugar is always one of the first places I address. So why does winter plus the holidays make it worse? So let's look at the winter first. Wintertime brings less sunlight, especially if you live in an area where there are 4 seasons. It also brings less movement, more isolation. We tend to crave more carb-heavy comfort foods during the wintertime. Now let's add in holidays and see what we've got. We've got skipped meals, grazing instead of actual meals, more sugar, alcohol, and caffeine, longer stretches without protein, or maybe we're not getting enough protein with each meal. And your hormones don't need less structure this season. They need gentle, supportive consistency. So what does that look like in real life? And I really want to keep this very simple. Every meal needs a protein, a fiber, a fat, and carbohydrates added in intentionally because yes, we still need carbs, especially if you are a cycling person. This combination slows glucose absorption and keeps energy more stable. Some examples of this could be eggs with veggies, avocado, and a piece of toast. Maybe a snack plate with cheese, nuts, and fruit. I always call that my toddler lunch. Add in a hard-boiled egg and you're good to go. It could be maybe a soup or a chili with beans and meat. Add on some avocado for more fat. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about creating foods that support your body throughout the day. I always say, I talk about not eating a naked carb, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. So what does blood sugar balance look like in real life? Now, this is not Instagram. This is real life, okay? We're working adults. We're trying to care for others, but we also need to remember that we need to care for ourselves. I'm going to list off things that it should look like, and maybe it's not sustainable for you right now. So I want you to pick one, and I want you to go for that. First off, eating within an hour of waking. This stimulates our metabolism. It tells our body, okay, it's time to wake up. This is where we want cortisol most, is first thing in the morning. We want our bodies to wake up and be alive. And so if we have an imbalanced cortisol or imbalanced metabolism, eating within an hour of waking is going to help stimulate that. Now, that eating might look like a cup of bone broth or some collagen powder in your tea. Okay, that's okay. Get it in within that hour and then worry about eating within the next hour, okay? The next is eating every 3 to 4 hours. Don't snack all day or snack in between. I want you to eat like full meals with 20 to 30 grams of protein each meal, okay? Pairing your coffee with food or protein is huge. If you can eat breakfast and then an hour later drink your coffee, amazing, okay? Amazing. I don't want you to choose your coffee before you choose food. And I might get a lot of shit for that, and I'm sorry, but it's not helping you at all, okay? Keeping protein-forward snacks available. That means cheese sticks, hard-boiled eggs, maybe a protein ball, or some yogurt. Whatever it is, I want you to keep those available so that if you do find yourself maybe getting a little hungry or needing something, you have something available that's healthy to grab. And then eating before holiday events instead of saving those calories. You heard my story in the beginning of where I would go all day long starving and be ravenous and then go to a holiday party and literally eat everything in sight. Now, since I've changed my thought of how I think of food and what I know serves me best, I definitely spoil my dinners when I go out. I try to eat something with protein beforehand so that I don't have those major cravings or I'm not loading my plate with a bunch of carbs. I'm more so choosing and looking for, I'm looking for those proteins. I'm looking for those fats. I'm looking for those fibers. And I'm pairing everything together. But I'm not being restrictive of what I'm choosing. Especially if it's a holiday meal, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to choose whatever I want to eat and I'm going to eat it and I'm not going to feel sorry about it. Because the more you ruminate and the more you feel sorry, that also causes stress. And we don't want that, okay? We're going to let that shit go because we chose it, we ate it, we're going to let it go. Remember that your body doesn't understand dieting. It only understands survival. All right, let's talk about what naked carbs are. So naked carbs are basically any carbohydrate that is not paired with a protein. So this could be a banana alone or an apple. Whereas if you are pairing your carbohydrates, you want to pair them with some form of protein. This could look like an apple with cheese, a banana with peanut butter. It could be, toast with peanut butter. Whatever it is, you want to just make sure that you're balancing it out so that you're reducing those glucose spikes. A really powerful and simple tool that you can do, especially if you do have a large holiday meal or you do have a big meal, and I do this most days after dinner, is I think one of the most underrated tools for blood sugar balance is a postprandial walk, which just means a gentle walk after eating. We're not talking about intense workouts. We're not talking about, going crazy on the treadmill, whatever it is. We're talking about 5 to 15 minutes of easy movement. This kind of movement helps muscles pull glucose out of the bloodstream. It reduces blood sugar spikes. It lowers insulin demand. It supports digestion because so many of us have digestion issues. And it helps calm and regulate the nervous system. So who knew a short walk could do that? A short walk after meals can dramatically reduce blood sugar swings, especially during the holidays when meals are heavier and more carbohydrate dense. I have actually created this into a ritual at my husband's side of the family, and I've done this ritual with my niece, and we have made it it's like our after meal walks. Whether it's raining, snowing, whatever it is, you better bet that after we have our meal at our holiday gatherings or any gathering, her and I are going to go for a walk. And we always, at first we may not feel like we want to do it, but we always motivate each other to go out and do it. And when we get back, we feel so much better. And typically everyone's, staring at us and being like, what? Why do you guys do that? And it's because we're trying to really support our bodies, and we often feel so much better, more so than the people who are stuffed laying around on the couches. So a short walk around the block, pacing while on a call, or even standing and moving around the house or doing squats can help you lower those blood sugar swings after a large meal. Remember that gentle movement is blood sugar medicine. So here's something I really want you to hear. And that is low blood sugar actually means stress. So if you're on the opposite end where you tend to get shaky or, you're struggling with keeping that blood sugar up because maybe you're missing meals, that is the same as having high blood sugar. So our body doesn't know the difference. It is the same. So if you're trying to lower stress by meditating, journaling, or breath work, but you're skipping meals, please remember that your body is still in fight or flight. One small shift to start with, if this feels overwhelming, is to just pick one of the things that I've said. Maybe it's eating within an hour of waking. Maybe it's adding protein to your breakfast or eating every 3 to 4 hours. Maybe you're really cognizant of pairing carbs with fat and protein or taking a 10-minute walk after meals. Small shifts create hormonal safety and they create this blood sugar balance. So in closing, I want you to remember that your hormones don't need you to be stricter this season. They need you to be kinder, warmer, and more consistent. Supporting blood sugar is one of the simplest ways to tell your body you are safe. And when your body feels safe, hormones follow. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. If this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want more support in learning how to nourish your hormones through your cycle, the link to work with me is in the show notes. We'll talk soon and happy holidays.